The fact-checking that we are looking at the American Press Institute has been around for about a decade or so. Factcheck.org is a nonprofit fact-checking organization that is run out of the University of Pennsylvania. And that was probably the grandfather of the fact-checking movement in the United States, and which other fact-checking organizations have based a lot of their practices on, including the Washington Post Fact Checker and PolitiFact. They are considered a wealth of information on how to do fact-checking right. I get the question a lot from journalists. I check my facts, so I must be a fact checker. And that is, it is very difficult to explain. And I often say that I wish we had another term or different terminology than fact checker, because it doesn't really explain the depth of what fact checkers do. Fact checkers will, I think probably what you should look at is how deep into the sourcing the reporter will go. And fact checkers aim for the original sources. And fact checkers also, unlike everyday journalism, fact checkers will try to come up with a conclusion. Fact checkers spend hours or days or even weeks studying and researching a particular point, and they are the experts by the end of that time, and they are the ones who are really qualified to give an answer to the question, is this true or false? The fact-checking is a growing movement. I would say that fact-checking on the level of the Washington Post fact-checker, PolitiFact, that is not growing as much. Those are full-time fact-checkers, and at the American Press Institute, we are promoting that sort of fact-checking that is high quality and permanent, not just something that occurs during election season, and not just something that is constrained to politics. You can fact check medicine and health and science and sports, and people have done that with good results. And so we encourage news organizations to adopt this practice in all of their beat coverage. It is not easy, we admit it is not easy to judge the effectiveness of not only fact-checking, but any type of journalism. But we do have some methods that we think are valid. And we do see that fact-checking is the type of journalism that a lot of readers want to read. It may go by a different name, like accountability journalism or investigative journalism, but that is always one of the top types of writing that people are looking for, that readers are looking for, and we have hard data to back that up. It's extremely popular, and we do measure that by not only by page views, because that's not very deep, but we look at how long people spend reading those stories. Do they read just a few paragraphs and bail? Do they continue to look for other stories on the site that are in the same category? Are they spending a lot of time with it? Are they responding to it? Are they tweeting it? Are they putting it on social media? So we have this formula, and we think that it's valid, and we do maintain that this type of journalism is extremely popular. And we ask news organizations to look at what they're covering and maybe make some tough decisions about, maybe we don't cover this so much anymore, and maybe we do this, since we know that readers are interested in this more so than this other type of journalism. And it may be exactly counter to what they've always thought, but it's, you know, it's probably going to be a good business decision in the end. The goal is just to provide accurate information for everyone to make informed decisions about participating in the democracy. And it is true that politicians will change their behavior based on fact checking. Probably not to the extent that everybody would want. Politicians are always going to lie. People are always going to lie. But there's research that shows that politicians do change their behavior based on fact checking. I'm not saying that that is the ultimate goal, but that is a byproduct. The goal that we really hope for is citizen learning, and we do have research that backs that up too, that people who read fact checks do better on tests and quizzes about that particular fact check than those who are not familiar with the topic.